Welcome to this video series of the Python course. In the previous videos, the topics that we have covered include basic syntax in Python, the use of different data types, and the use of conditional statements in Python. In today's video, we will discuss about comparison and logical operators commonly used in Python, starting with what actually are logical operators. Logical operators are symbols that help us to combine conditions in our code to make decisions. They allow us to check multiple conditions at once and determine whether they are true or false. Types of logical operators. Three types of common logical operators are AND, or AND operator, OR operator, and NOT operator. Logical operators are commonly used in decision-making situations in programming, like in if statements, loops, and while statements. They help us create flexible and responsive code that reacts appropriately to different scenarios. So let's start with AND operator. The AND operator returns true only if both operands are true, otherwise it returns false. Here is an example of AND operator. In this example, we have assigned value 5 to variable x and value 10 to variable y. The two conditions are whether x is greater than 0 and y is less than 20. Since both these conditions are true, the AND operator will also return true. And so in this case, the statement both conditions are true will be printed on screen. But let's take an example that if y was 25, then in that case, this condition would have become false. In that case, AND operator would have returned false. So at least one condition is false. This statement would have been printed on screen. If both the conditions are true, the AND operator returns true. If one condition is true and one condition is false, the AND operator will return false. However, if both the conditions are false, in that case also the AND operator will return false. OR operator. The OR operator returns true only if at least one operand is true. Otherwise, it returns false. Here is an example of OR operator. In this case, we have assigned value 10 to variable x and value 5 to variable y. The two conditions are x is less than 0 or y is greater than 0. In this case, we can see that 5 is greater than 0. This condition is true, but 10 is not less than 0, which makes this condition false. However, since one condition is true, the OR operator will also return true. So in this case, at least one number is positive or negative. This statement will be printed on screen. So if both the conditions are true, OR operator will return true. If only one condition is true, in that case as well, the OR operator will return value true. However, if both the conditions are false, in that case, the OR operator will return false. So finally coming to NOT operator. The NOT operator returns true only if operand is false and returns false if the operand is true. Let's see an example of NOT operator. Here, to variable is Sunny, we have assigned a Boolean value false. And in the if statement, we have used of NOT operator in front of variable is Sunny. So in this case, the NOT operator changes the value of is Sunny from false to true. So in this case, the statement it's not sunny today will be printed on screen. However, if we would have assigned value true to variable is Sunny, in that case, the NOT operator would have changed its value to false. So in that case, the else block would have been executed and the statement it's sunny today would have been printed on screen. NOT operator changes the value of true to false and false to true. Now we will see that what are comparison operators. Comparison operators are symbols used in programming to compare two values. They allow us to determine the relationship between values and produce a Boolean result, true or false, based on the comparison. Types of comparison operators. So this symbol represents equal to, and this symbol represents not equal to. These are examples of different types of comparison operators in Python. Now we will see an example based on comparison operators. Here we have taken two variables and assigned value 5 to variable x and value 10 to variable y. Since according to the first condition, if x is equal to y, this statement will be printed on screen. But we know that 5 is not equal to 10. So x is not equal to y, this statement will be printed on screen. However, the second condition is true as 5 is not equal to y, 10. So in this case, when we will execute the code, x is not equal to y, this statement will be printed on screen. Now coming to the third condition, if x is greater than y, then the statement x is greater than y will be printed on screen. But since 10 is greater than 5, this condition becomes false. So in this case, x is not greater than y, this statement will be printed on screen. According to the last condition, if x is less than y, the statement x is less than y, this statement will be printed on screen. And this condition is true since 5 is less than 10. So when we will execute this code, the statement x is less than 5 will be printed on screen. Hence, comparison operators are commonly used in conditional statements, loops, and other situations where we need to make decisions based on relationship between values. Now, we will go to the Google Colab platform where we will see some practical application of what we have learned today. So now we are at the Google Colab platform, and let's start with an example on OR operator. We have taken two variables x and y and have assigned value 5 to variable x and value 10 to variable y. The two conditions in the if statement are if x is greater than 0 and y is less than 20. Since both these conditions are true, as 5 is greater than 0 and 10 is less than 20, the OR AND operator will also return true. So in this case, both conditions are true. This statement will be printed on screen. Now we will execute this code and we can see that both conditions are true. This statement is printed on screen. Now coming to example of OR operator. In this case, we have assigned value 10 to variable x and value 5 to variable y. The condition in the if statement is if x is less than 0 or y is greater than 0. We know that 10 then 5 is greater than 0. This condition is true, but 10 is not less than 0, which makes this condition false. However, since one condition is true, the OR operator will also return true. So in this case, the statement at least one number is positive or negative will be printed on screen. When we execute this code, we can see that the statement at least one number is positive or negative is printed. Now coming to example of NOT operator. We have taken variable is sunny and assigned value false to it. The NOT operator will change the value of variable is sunny from false to true. So in this case, the statement it's not sunny today will be printed on screen. When we run this code, we can see that it's not sunny today is printed. However, if we change the value of variable is sunny from false to true and now run this code, we can see that the statement it's sunny today is printed because the not operator will now change the value of variable from true to false. And so in this case, the else block will be executed and it's sunny today. This statement is printed on screen. Now we will see an example of comparison operators. So the values that we have taken are 5 and 10 in variable x and y respectively. Here is an example of equal to operator. Since 5 is not equal to 10, so in this case, x is not equal to y. This statement should be printed on screen. If we check the second condition, this condition is true since 5 is not equal to 10. So in this case, x is not equal to y again will be printed on screen. Coming to the third condition, according to the third condition, if x is greater than y, the statement x is greater than y should be printed on screen. But since 5 is not greater than 10, this becomes false. So x is not greater than y, this statement will be printed on screen. According to the last condition, if x is less than y, the statement x is less than y should be printed on screen, which is true since 5 is less than 10. Now we will run this code and we can see that x is not equal to y, x is not equal to y, x is not greater than y, and x is less than y. These statements are printed on the screen. So this marks the end of this video, and that was all about comparison and logical operators in Python.